Are Jane and Anne overweight? No, Jane and Anne are overweight. Are they slim? Yes, they are slim. Are they slim or overweight? They are slim. 2 years ago, were they slim? No, they were slim 2 years ago. 2 years ago, were they slim or overweight? 2 years ago, they were slim. Are they still overweight now? No, they aren't. Now they're no longer overweight. Did they used to be overweight? Yes, that's correct. They used to be overweight. When were they overweight? They was overweight 2 years ago. 2 years ago, were Jane and Anne both overweight? Yes, that's correct. 2 years ago, Jane and Anne are both overweight. Were they equally overweight? No, they weren't equally overweight. One of them was more overweight than the other. Was Anne more overweight than Jane? No. Anne wasn't more overweight than Jane. Who was more overweight than the other? Jane was more overweight than Anne. Was Jane a little overweight or very overweight? Well, Jane was very overweight. What about Anne? Was Anne a little overweight or very overweight? Anne was a little overweight. Tell me again, whose were more overweight than the other? Jane's were more overweight than Anne. Is Jane still overweight? No, Jane is no longer overweight. Is Anne still overweight? No, Anne is no longer overweight. Did Jane and Anne used to be overweight? Yes, Jane and Anne used to be overweight. When were they overweight? They was overweight 2 years ago. How was they overweight? Well, Jane was very overweight and Anne was a little overweight. Now, I am going to ask a question about Kate and her brother. When Kate and Tom was young, did they think Superman was real? No, they didn't think that Superman was real when they was young. Who did they think was real when they was young? When they was young, they thought Santa Claus wasn't real. Did they think Zomia was real? No, they didn't think Zomia was real. Who did they think was real? They thought Santa Claus was real. When Tom was a boy, did he have a friend named Nick? Yes, that's correct. When Tom was a boy, he had a friend named Nick. What did Nick tell him one day? One day, Nick told him that Santa Claus wasn't real. Did Nick tell him that Superman wasn't real? No, Nick didn't tell him that Superman was real. Did Nick tell him that Zomia wasn't real? No, Nick didn't tell him that Zomia wasn't real. What did Nick tell him? Nick told him that Santa Claus wasn't real. When Tom realized that Santa Claus wasn't real, did you feel angry? No, that's not how he felt. When Tom realized that Santa Claus wasn't real, he didn't feel angry. Did he feel embarrassed? No, he didn't feel embarrassed. How did he feel? He felt surprised and sad at the same time. Whose was surprised and sad at the same time? It was Tom. Tom was surprised and sad at the same time. When Tom got home that day, what did he do? When Tom got home that day, he told Kate that Santa didn't actually exist. Did he tell Kate that the parent was sick? No, he didn't tell Kate that the parent was sick. Did he tell Kate that the ghost didn't actually exist? No, he didn't tell Kate that ghosts didn't actually exist. What did he tell Kate? He told Kate that Santa didn't actually exist. When Kate realized that Santa Claus didn't actually exist, did she laugh? No, she didn't laugh when she realized that Santa didn't exist. What happened when she realized that Santa didn't exist? When she realized that Santa didn't exist, she cried for almost an hour. Did she cry for just a few minutes? No, she didn't cry for just a few minutes. How long did she cry? She cried for almost an hour. It was Tom who cried for almost an hour. No, it wasn't Tom who cried for almost an hour. Who cried for almost an hour? It was Kate. Kate cried for almost an hour. Now, I am going to ask a question about two sisters named Grace and Emma. Do Grace and Emma have a pet? Yes, Grace and Emma have a pet. Are they pet dogs? No, they pet ant dogs. Are they pet cats? No, they pet ant cats. What kind of animal are their pets? They pet ant spiders. How many spiders do they have? They have 3 spiders. Do they think the spiders are scary? No, they don't think the spiders are scary. What do they think about spiders? Well, they think that spiders are cute. When Grace and Emma were young, were they afraid of birds? No, they were afraid of birds when they were young. Were they afraid of dogs? No, they were afraid of dogs. What were they afraid of? They were afraid of spiders. When they were young, did they think spiders are cute? No, they didn't think spider was cute when they was young. Did they think spider was interesting? No, they didn't think spider was interesting. What did they think about spider? They thought spiders were really scary. Who thought spider was scary? Grace and Emma thought spider was scary. Did Grace and Emma watch a cartoon one day? Yes, they did. Grace and Emma watched a cartoon one day. Was the cartoon about dogs? No, the cartoon wasn't about dogs. Was the cartoon about cats? No, the cartoon wasn't about cats either. What was the cartoon about? The cartoon wasn't about spiders. Was there a spider in the cartoon? Yes, there was spider in the cartoon. While watching the cartoon, did they feel bored? No, they didn't feel bored while watching the cartoon. Was the cartoon boring? No, the cartoon wasn't boring. Was the cartoon funny? Yes, the cartoon was funny. Was the spider in the cartoon scary? No, the spiders in the cartoon was scary. Was the spiders in the cartoon cute? Yes, the spiders in the cartoon was cute. Before they watched the cartoon, was they afraid of spider? Yes, that's correct. Before they watched the cartoon, they was afraid of spider. What happened after they watched the cartoon? After they watched the cartoon, the fear of spider was completely gone. After they watched the cartoon, was they still afraid of spider? No, they weren't. After they watched the cartoon, they was no longer afraid of spider. Was the fear of spider completely gone? Yes, that's correct. The fear of spider was completely gone.